Check 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need. Get over the fear and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello, everybody. Michael Quarles with Podcast 105. Today we have 5 questions sent in. And remember, if you have a question, send it to support@bsffacademy.com. One more time, support@bsffacademy.com. Here we go. Question number 1. Do you plan on doing any type of mastermind event? You know, I've thought about it, but I guess I really haven't thought about it enough. If I had people that wrote in, called in, texted in, emailed in, something, and said, hey, that'd be a great idea. I'd love to be on a mastermind event. We'd probably put one together. It sounds fun. Yeah, that'd be fun. So if we had interest, absolutely it'd be fun to do. If we don't have interest, then yeah. Question number 2. How should the following objection be handled? Objection. I can't believe you were so unprepared that you haven't done any research on the house. Do your research and call me back with an offer. I wouldn't handle that objection. I'd say, so I'm sorry, I asked the wrong question. Did you have a house you were hoping to sell? And I just go right back to my script. If they want to be Mr. and Mrs. Bully or Mr. and Mrs. Idiot or Mr. and Mrs. whatever they are at the moment, I don't have time for them. I got plenty of people to talk to about buying a house. So if they don't want to participate the way I want them to, guess what? They don't get my money. And they want to sell their house. And they want my money. So if they want my money and they want to sell a house, then they have to participate. If they don't, go to somebody else. No big deal. Question number 3. Should I put some sort of sign out in front of the house that I'm renovating to flip for advertising? I wouldn't yet until you were ready for carpet. So interior paint, countertops, toilets, all that kind of good stuff is in. When you're ready for carpet, then it's ready for show. And then at that time I would. But again, I'm not going to renovate. I'm just going to sell it as is. So, but if you are going to rehab it, absolutely wait until that point. So, because if you start selling it prior to and you enter into a contract, then you have a lot of speculation. Well, what did I sell and what did I buy from this guy or gal? So wait a little longer, wait for it to be able to be shown, and then fall forward.
Thanks for listening to Buy, Sell, Fix, Flip. We'll be right back. Are you running out of leads? It's time you tried Yellow Letters at yellowletters.com. Get motivated seller leads through yellow letters, postcards, zip letters, typed professional letters, greeting cards, door hangers, and business cards. Yellow Letters is a full-service marketing company created with your success in mind. Get the personal attention you need to get your direct mail campaign started and get in touch at yellowletters.com.
And we are back in 3, 2, 1.
Question number 4. What should I do if a seller looks at my purchase agreement and doesn't like a certain line or paragraph? Depends on how much money you're going to make. Because, let's face it, I'm going to deviate if there's a bucket load of money to be made. And quite honestly, purchase contracts or agreements or any legal agreement really is in place for people who don't want to adhere to what they agreed to. So I know I'm going to fall forward to buy a house. So if they, and I'm only assuming that they are too, but if there's a paragraph or a line that may be unclear to them and something that they would rather not, as long as it's not major like price or something, I don't want to leave the price open. I don't know why we do that, but I may deviate a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. Because if you are going to buy a house, do you really need a purchase agreement other than to make the offer legal and to open up closing? So change it if you want to change it, as long as it's there's benefit to you. Hope that made sense. I think a lot of people get all caught up on having something that forces their ability to force their hand. The reality is, if a seller does not want to sell me their house, I am not going to require them to. I'm not going to call my attorney, and I have a very expensive one, and have him, hound them to death and spend the thousands of dollars in attorney's fees just to buy a house. I'm just going to take my energy and go buy something else. I believe in abundance and prosperity, and so if someone doesn't want to sell me a house, agreement's useless to me. Now, I'm not going to tell people that I want to buy a house from, but that's my personal opinion on it. So we have abundance of opportunity. So fall forward. Question number 5. What would you do if a very motivated seller wanted to sell their house for a great price, but they have tenants in the property or are in the middle of a 1-year lease? It really depends on that great price. If it's enough to mitigate you holding it for 6 months, and that tenant payment covers the costs of you holding that thing for 6 months, I'd fall forward. I mean, let's face it, if you're buying it 50 cents on the dollar, and you're buying a $200,000 house, or you're getting it for $100,000, and you got to hold it for 6 months, and your tenant's paying you the mortgage payment, who cares? You could go and buy out the tenant if you wanted to. I mean, they're going to move in 6 months anyway. So, I mean, give them a few $1,000s for U-Haul and get into a new place and get it and buy it and flip it. But yeah, as long as that great price is the great price. Now, if it's a marginal price and the payments that the tenant are paying you aren't covering the costs of your PITI, then you got to mitigate that and get a better price. But if all things said, yeah, no big deal. I don't like buying houses that are tenant occupied. But let's face it, I mean, it's not a perfect world. I mean, no one's perfect. So there are things that we have to do and change and forgive when we are blessed with the opportunity to make some money. So just fall forward on that. Another short one, I apologize. I think we might want to start doing 10 questions on these podcasts so I can talk some more and help out as much as I can. If you guys have any questions, remember to send them in. And let's fall forward. And that mastermind thing may be a pretty good thing. I think it might be fun. And if there's enough of you that raise your hand on that, and if you want to do that, just send support an email. Just say, yeah, mastermind, yes. And if I get 20 of you that say yes, then we'll plan something, put that together, and that'll be fun. Maybe we'll do that on a monthly basis and try to help everybody grow and fall forward and go from there. Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.